Hi everybody, I'm Coach Ali. This is Steph. Welcome to the third week of Limitless, the home dumbbell workout series that'll transform your body like no other workout on YouTube. Let's continue our Limitless home dumbbell workout series with the following workouts. An upper body dumbbell workout on Tuesday at 10 p.m, a legs day dumbbell workout on Thursday at 10 p.m, and a comprehensive full body dumbbell workout on Saturday, also at 10 p.m.
We're committed to taking the guesswork out of your training. You simply go from this workout to the next and always train in sequential order. Try not to miss workouts along the way. Do every workout that we upload as part of the Limitless series. This will ensure that you work out every body part effectively in the correct order.
Over the past 2 weeks, we've used isometric exercises to create time under tension method of training, which is proven to help build muscle and create shape. This week, we're going to shake things up a little bit and move to dumbbell drop sets, which is another way to get your aesthetics game on point. Steph, tell our Limitless crew what the game plan is for this week.
This week, we'll work out with 2 consecutive sets of 20 seconds. The first set will be heavier and the second set will be lighter. Then we'll take a quick 20-second rest break and go through the superset once again.
As you know, we're all about giving you focused training that really works when it comes to transforming your body into a capable and very aesthetic physique. For those of you training with us for the first time, welcome to the channel and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience with you.
Coach Ali is a master fitness trainer and former IFBB Mr. Australia with over 25 years of experience transforming countless bodies at the gym, including mine, so I'm sure you'll pick up lots of useful tips today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss the next workout in this Limitless series. If you want amazing results, it's very important that you follow this series in the exact release order and do not miss a workout.
Before we get started, I just wanted to let our channel members know that I'm uploading an alternative nutrition plan for you guys this week. So that'll be uploaded to the members community, so be sure to keep an eye on that. Let's allow our diet to go hand in hand with our dumbbells workouts and let's stay on top of our physique development. If you're interested in becoming an exclusive channel member and taking advantage of the extra services on offer, be sure to hit that blue join icon now and let us take your transformation to the next level.
That's enough talking from us. Let's get into this week's Limitless home dumbbell workout series, covering an upper body workout, a legs day workout, and a complete full body dumbbell workout.
Alright guys, for today's home dumbbell workout, we're going to warm up with 3 45-second exercises. Let's start with some dumbbell thrusters. You can see we're doing it over our bench, but if you're not using a bench today, just do it on the floor. Our toes are pointing forward, our shins are parallel, and you can see we're keeping a nice upright upper body. And you can see we're hitting a nice deep squat and then working our way up into that shoulder press, making sure we're pointing our palms forward and just pushing straight up. Try not to lean forward, try to maintain your posture as best as you can. Continuing our 45-second home dumbbell workout warm-ups with some good mornings. Now you can see we're hinging forward, making sure we're keeping our back nice and neutral. So there's got to be no hunch in your back as you're tilting forward. And then make sure that you've got your feet minimum at shoulder width and your toes are pointing forward, so we're getting a nice stretch of the hamstrings and just really warming up the glutes and back. The weights at this stage should be relatively light. We are just warming up, you guys, and just make sure that your movement is nice and steady. final warm-up exercise, it's a push-up and we're adding some knee strikes in there as well. Alternate your knee strikes, one to the left, one to the right. That's going to help you engage your obliques while you're working on your chest, triceps and your core. Get those push-ups nice and deep if you can, and just keep a nice steady pace throughout your movement. Make sure that you're not dipping your hips on this one, guys. For your first drop set, we're going to work on some nice and heavy wide chest presses. You can see as we're dropping down, we're essentially creating a straight line from elbow to elbow and then pushing up and pressing those dumbbells together. Let's do a set nice and heavy for 20 seconds. And for the second set, we're going to go a little bit lighter to take a little bit of the pressure off. Then we rest and we repeat the superset. Make sure that your lower back is pinned against your bench when you do your exercise. Close grip chest press for this drop set, guys. You can see the dumbbells are pressing together and then they're dropping down to our chest with our elbows tucked in by our sides, and then we're pushing up until we've got nice straight arms. Little pause at the top when you're getting the flexion at the center of your chest and in your triceps, and then continue working your way down. Again, we're going to drop the weight at the 20-second mark. Make sure your lower back is pinned against the bench, or if you're doing the exercise on the floor, make sure it's pinned against the floor.
rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay. It's like you're my personal Illuminati. I know that some might say that I am just a bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna bite. I've got my hands on your body, so tell me what you want me to do. I can be good or be naughty, because there ain't nobody love you like I do, like I do, like I do, like I do, like I do.
This one's a rotating press. It's a great holistic chest and triceps exercise. It starts with a neutral grip at the bottom of the exercise, and then we're going to turn and rotate until you're holding a straight line at the top. Again, making sure that your lower back is pinned against the bench or against the floor if you're doing it down there. And also making sure that your elbows are tucked in by your ribs so that we can really get into those triceps when you have to push the exercise back up. 20 seconds nice and heavy, and then let's drop the weight for 20 seconds. Let's go. For your first drop set, we're going to work on some nice and heavy wide chest presses. You can see as we're dropping down, we're essentially creating a straight line from elbow to elbow and then pushing up and pressing those dumbbells together. Let's do a set nice and heavy for 20 seconds. And for the second set, we're going to go a little bit lighter to take a little bit of the pressure off. Then we rest and we repeat the superset. Make sure that your lower back is pinned against your bench when you do your exercise. bent over row for your lats and for your biceps for this one, guys. Now you can see we're starting with our hands nice and neutral, and as we pull up, we're pulling up 2 straight lines, making sure where your elbow goes, your wrist follows. So you've got to keep those elbows tucked in by your ribs. Put a little pause at the top where the flexion is, and then work your way back down. Make sure that you're keeping a straight back on this one by pushing your tailbone out a little bit and making sure that you're flexing your erectors the whole time. This is a fantastic posterior chain exercise, guys. Let's do it. Bent over T-rows. Now this one's a little bit trickier than it looks. You want to make sure that you start with the dumbbells touching each other with your arms relaxed at the bottom, and then we'll lead with the elbows and try and get up into a nice wide line. If you can get a straight line from elbow to elbow at the top of the exercise, then that's ideal. Make sure there's no up-down swing of your torso when you're doing this exercise, you guys. Make sure you hold that torso in place. A good way of managing your body is make sure that you're nice and heavy on your legs. Bent over pulse row for this exercise. So this is much like a traditional row where you're pulling your hands up and making sure that your elbows are tucked in by your ribs. But you can see at the top of the exercise, we're adding an extra pulse. So we're squeezing twice to get that extra bit of flexion in there. Again, make sure you've got a nice hinge with your tailbone pushing out ever so slightly. in order to flex your erectors and keep the pressure off your lumbar spine. A great addition to your home dumbbell workout is neutral upright rows. So much like a traditional upright row, however, it starts from the outside of your thighs and it remains neutral the whole time. A great way of doing this is just think that you're lifting those dumbbells up against your ribs and you're pulling it as high as you can. Pull your elbows back and lift your shoulders at the same time. So imagine that you're doing an upright row and a shrug in the same exercise, and that way you're going to get perfect flexion in your traps. Standing shrugs, and you can see we've got a circular movement for this one. So we're lifting right up as though we're trying to touch our ears with our shoulders, and then we're circling backwards. And you can see the eccentric is nice and slow, so this is going to prevent any strain in your traps. You can also see that we're not lifting with the elbows. Elbows are remaining soft and the dumbbells are by our hips the whole time. Your turn to try this superset. Standing dumbbell shoulder presses for this one, guys. You can see we're starting with our arms nice and parallel in that football post position, and then we're pushing up until the dumbbells touch each other and our arms are soft straight above us. Now, a thing to note for with this one is as you start to get tired, you're going to want to push your hips forward. We want to make sure that we don't do that. The hips remain marginally behind you and your knees are bent ever so slightly to protect your back. All right, let's keep our dumbbell workout going with some lateral raises. Now, you can see the hands start neutral by our hips, and then it's an elevation up with soft, straight elbows, and we're finishing in that crucifix where we've got a straight line from dumbbell to dumbbell. Now, we want to try not to use our hips to assist us. The other thing you'll note is we're starting by our sides. We're not starting in front of us, which creates momentum. So this is a harder version, but it's also a more technically correct version of lateral raises. traditional alternate bicep curls to add to your home dumbbell workout, guys. You can see both hands are starting neutral. As we're hitting the curl on one side, the hand is supinating and turning 90 degrees to the top. This is going to hit the peak of the biceps, which is generated from the inside head. Now make sure that your elbows are remaining static. We don't want any swinging to create momentum with those elbows. And then make sure you've got a nice slow eccentric component of the exercise.
Summer's end, and you feel that this is your beginning. Well, colors fade, but it's okay. There is good in changes. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim. And come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones. And be wild, 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 wild.
Dumbbell biceps hammer curl for this exercise, guys. Now, the first thing you'll note is we're starting from in front of our thighs. And this is going to take the momentum away that you would otherwise generate if you start by your side. So it's going to allow you to really focus on that lateral head of your biceps. It's also going to help with preventing swinging your elbows. So again, this is a much more technically correct way of doing hammer curls than doing them from beside you. Now, the only thing to look for at this point is static hips and also static elbows. Lying skull crushers. Now you could do this triceps exercise either on the floor or on your bench.
But the main thing to note is that our upper arms are remaining parallel and there's no movement at the elbow. It's only the lower part of the arm that's moving, and there's an angle change of at least 90 degrees there, you can see. And at the top of the exercise, we've got our hands nice and parallel and just focusing on that flexion in the triceps and a little bit in the anterior delts as well. Weighted triceps dip. Now, if it's hard for you to do this with the weight of a dumbbell on you, you can just do it unweighted. But a couple of points to watch out for as far as your form guide is concerned. Make sure that your hands are close to your butt. Don't go too wide with it. And then make sure that your butt is close to your bench. We don't want to go too far out and put too much pressure on our rotator cuffs. Then it's a matter of dropping down nice and deep, or at least as far as your flexibility allows you. And then push up all the way until you've got soft straight elbows and you've got good flexion in your triceps. Alright, let's continue our full body workout with some weighted abs crunches. Now start lying flat either on the floor or on your bench and make sure your lower back is pinned against it. When you're lifting up into that crunch, make sure that your chin is tucked in and that you're also protecting your neck. Your head and shoulder blades lift off your bench, but your lower back does not. It remains there. And you can see that we've got our knees bent. That's going to help support your lower back. Let's get a good set in with some heavier dumbbells and then we'll switch it up and go the light ones. If you have trouble with this one, lose the dumbbells altogether. Weighted abs tucks is a fantastic lower abs and hips exercise. So you can see that the weight is on our thighs to create a little bit of extra resistance. Now, if you don't want that extra bit of resistance, or if you find that it's bothering your lower back, lose the dumbbell. Make sure that lower back is pinned against your bench or against the floor if you're doing it there. And then make sure you extend your legs all the way out. I want nice straight knees when you're in that extended position. Let's go into some Russian twists from that seated position. Now you can see for this particular one, we've got our heels rested on the bench, which is easier than trying to do the balanced version of it. I want you guys to really focus on rotating those shoulders and getting that good contraction in your obliques and your intercostals in particular. The best way to maximize your movement is look at the center of your dumbbell. Where people tend to go wrong is they look in front of them, and so if the head's not moving, the shoulders aren't going to move either, so you're only going to get partial repetition. Standing dumbbell obliques tilt to continue your full body dumbbell workout. Now you can see our legs are nice and wide, and this is one of the only exercises where your knees remain stiff throughout the exercise. Bending your knees will allow your hips to absorb some of the punishment, so I want to make sure that we're not doing that. We want to try and isolate those obliques as much as we can. Imagine you're creating a letter C with your body, so just tilt sideways until you've reached your knee, or if you're flexible you can go a little bit further down. Standing dumbbell press. Now, this is a fantastic exercise both for your shoulders and your core. You can see our knees are slightly bent and our hips are behind us. This is very, very important. We don't want to push the hips forward and put pressure on our lower back. Then when we're pushing that dumbbell out, it's essentially a horizontal line from our chest all the way to our extended position. You'll note you'll need to really contract your abs and squeeze as you're pushing out. Slow, controlled movement, both on the way in and on the way out as well. Rotating abs crunch for this one. So it's much like a regular press crunch, but you can see we're focused on rotating and turning towards one knee, which is going to go a little bit off center, and it's going to work your abs a little bit differently. Now, rather than dropping sets, we're going to do a set on the left side and then a set on the right side. So just use the same weight for both of your sets. Very important to keep your lower back pinned against the floor, and the motion is coming by lifting your head and your shoulder blades. Weighted half jackknife for this full body workout exercise, which is primarily your upper abs on the weighted side with your arm and the lower abs and hips on the side where you're moving your leg. Now, we're doing it on the bench, but if you're uncomfortable doing it that way, just do it on the floor for safety. The main thing to note is that our dynamic leg is remaining nice and straight, and that the arm and the leg are meeting each other halfway. As you move the weight with your arm, you're lifting your head and your shoulder blades. Weighted roadkill for this exercise. So this is a nice isometric exercise, and it's engaging both your upper abs and your lower abs. You're going to find you get a little bit of action in your hips as well for this one. Make sure your legs are nice and straight, your toes are pointy, and then your arms are also extended as well. We're lifting our head and shoulder blades, and we're also lifting our tailbone, but we're leaving our lower back pinned against your bench or against the floor. Let's do a heavy set, and let's do a second set a little bit lighter. Romanian deadlift. Now this one we're doing with a single dumbbell today, so make sure that that dumbbell is nice and heavy. The alternative would be to do it with a pair of dumbbells. But you can see as far as the form is concerned, it's a really nice hinge at the hips. So we're pushing our butt back and dropping that dumbbell down vertically. And then we're making sure that our backs are remaining nice and straight. And there's a ever so slight bend in the knees in order to keep our hamstrings and our lower back protected. Now, it's not a legs day workout without some goblet squats in there. You can see our feet are at shoulder width, shins are nice and parallel. The dumbbell is sitting underneath our chin, and as we drop down, we're getting those elbows to our thighs. Using your thigh as a marker is a great idea because it prevents you from leaning forward too much. So it's an excellent way of managing your upper body throughout this exercise. Make sure there's no swinging in and out as far as your knees are concerned, so try to keep those static. This one is a Bulgarian deadlift. So you can see one of our feet is elevated behind us on the bench. The weight is on the front leg It essentially replicates a single leg Romanian deadlift. Make sure that your back's remaining nice and neutral. Make sure you've got a slight bend in that front leg. We don't want it to be completely stiff. And make sure that your toes are pointing forward so that we're not compromising our knees or our hips on this one. Obviously, all the weight will be on one side. Dumbbell sumo squats for this one. Now, you want to start nice and wide. So when you get into that low position, you want your shin bones to be parallel with each other. The other thing worth noting is that your toes are pointing out 45 degrees. And when you're in that low position, your knee is remaining above your ankles. We don't want those knees to cave in because we don't want to pressure the hips in the wrong way. Instead, we want to make sure we work those adductors, get that nice stretch inside of those legs, and then make sure that you're flexing those glutes on the way up. Weighted dumbbell hips thruster for this exercise. So you can see that the weight of the dumbbell is on our hips and that our shins are nice and parallel. Now what you can't see is that our toes are pointing the same direction, so they're nice and parallel as well. When you lift, there's no swinging in your shins. It's a matter of squeezing your erectors, squeezing your glutes and your hamstring, and lifting all the way up. You want to try and maximize the vertical distance that your hips can cover. Alright, this one is a squat with a calves raise. Now, we're holding the dumbbell low, but if you want to hold it higher in that goblet position, that's okay if you're comfortable doing that. The main thing is to make sure that both of your toes are pointing forward. Your feet are at shoulder width, or you could have them ever so slightly wider if you like. And then making sure that you're not leaning forward too much when you're dropping into these squats. Keep your shoulders back and try to maintain your upper body. Dumbbell split squat. Again, we're just going to keep the same weight for both sets, and rather than dropping weights on this one, we'll simply do a right set and then do a left set. Make sure that your stance is nice and lengthy. We want to try and keep that front shin bone as vertical as you can keep it. You'll know you're doing it correctly if your front shin bone is not moving around. We don't want it swinging back and forth. Focus on dropping your back knee to the ground and then picking it up until your back leg is nice and straight. A dumbbell side squat set for this one. So rather than dropping weights, guys, we'll do a full set on one side and then do the next set on the other side. Main form guide would be to make sure you're nice and wide with your legs and that your feet are parallel. As you drop to one side, you're going to get the flexion in your quadriceps on the bent knee, and then you're going to get a nice stretch in your adductors on the opposite side. Now, try not to swing left and right with your body. Try and keep that weight centered. And then try not to bend the knee that's meant to remain straight. Isometric squat. Now, technically, this should be the easiest exercise of the day, but when it comes to execution, it's absolutely not. We're making sure that our feet are parallel at shoulder width, toes are pointing forward, and then we're dropping down and just trying not to let our weight shift too far forward. It's virtually impossible to remain perfectly vertical, but let's do our best with it. Once you get into that low position, you've got to hold it. Don't change your height. Stay there. We'll do a heavier set and then a lighter set before we go into our break. Standing calves raise. Now, this is seemingly easy, but you can actually do some really good work with it. Make sure that your toes are pointing forward and make sure that when you're lifting up into your calves raise, you're going up all the way. I want those heels as far from the ground as you can get them. Then make sure that you put a pause at the top because this is going to help with the flexion as well. There should be no swinging back and forth with your hips, so watch for that too.
Well done for finishing today's dumbbell workout at home and progressing through another week of our Limitless Dumbbell Workout Series. If you enjoyed our workout with us, please make sure that you've hit that subscribe button and hit the alert button so that you don't miss the next workout in this series.
Very important, you guys. If you're looking to burn extra body fat and get lean, then be sure to continue to the Secret to Burning Body Fat workout right now. You'll see a link of it at the end of this video. Get into it straight away while your body is perfectly primed for burning body fat, which is right now, immediately after your strength training.
If you're finished working out for today, we recommend moving on to our post-workout stretching and cool-down videos with our physio Daphne. There is also a link of her stretching playlist at the end of this workout.
As always, thank you guys for training with us. We look forward to bringing you another home dumbbell workout shortly and taking that body transformation of yours to the next level. Take care of yourselves and each other.